Flavors and Knowledge is a bilingual podcast focusing on gastronomic education in relation to a healthy lifestyle through food first. Our philosophy carries a moral obligation of sharing sensible knowledge to generate social awareness. Podcasts are in English with an accent and Italian.
Welcome back, dear friends. This is Chef Walter with another episode of Flavors and Knowledge. Today's episode is an important one. We have a special guest, Natalie Paterson, the co-founder of Ingarden. Ingarden is a tabletop hydroponic smart garden that grows fresh microgreens, and they just officially launched this in June. Natalie has a background in nutritional biochemistry and is currently pursuing an MS in food science. She has always had a passion for food and nutrition, specifically the value of growing your own nutritious food and the impact that has on health and well-being. After her extensive studies, she built an international team to launch Ingarden. And today we'll hear from Natalie regarding why microgreens and the major health benefits they have. Welcome to the show. How are you, Natalie?
Oh my goodness, it's my absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me on today.
It's our pleasure. Our pleasure. I am so excited to have you here because you have really an outstanding concept, and I want our listeners to learn as much as possible about what you have done. But tell me something about yourself, because I know that you're on the East Coast, but how did you get started? Meaning your career.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Such an exciting question. So a little bit about me. I actually grew up in New Zealand, and through this upbringing, this is what started my passion for food, and specifically understanding how valuable it is to connect with our food. As a chef, I'm sure you can relate yourself, just how magical the process is. And in the New Zealand Maori culture, we have a saying, and that is hikeki o kurenga, which means food from my hands. And I resonate so strongly with this notion because I believe it, underlines the importance of connecting with our food and where our food comes from. Yet, although my young childhood was in New Zealand, I, in my teenage years, moved to Central City, London, where, let me tell you, we do not have green space. I didn't even have a garden, right? And so I saw firsthand how disconnected we do become from our food in this modern, fast-paced lifestyle that we live. And so for me, understanding these experiences that I had from a very holistic, natural connection with the land and food to a wonderful, vibrant, modern lifestyle, I realized that something needed to happen to fulfill that disconnect. And for me, Ingarden, right, having an indoor smart garden right there, accessible to connect with our food inside our house, is that balance that we need to start improving how we nourish ourselves, right, in an innovative, fresh, accessible way, without sacrificing the need for ease and convenience.
Clearly, nutrition is an important part of your life, but I'm eager to understand how you, as a foreign person, I can consider you foreign. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
How do you see the American diet going? Why we are having so many difficulties, especially in school children programs?
Yes, I think, one common theme I see come up a lot is that, food is different in Europe. Like, Americans will travel and maybe they have, say, a gluten sensitivity here when they consume American based products. However, when they go to Europe, they don't have the same, digestive issues. And so I actually teach undergraduate nutrition classes. And when discussing the American diet, I like to use this acronym called SAD. So SAD stands for Standard American Diet. Sad, because it is sad. It is sad because, you see, the media and the market can sometimes overcomplicate the definition of what it means to be healthy and make healthy living seem unattainable. And for the most part, I feel that this leaves people without application-based solutions to help them make positive changes in their life. And, for me, and I think you too, with this podcast, you are here to show people that healthy living can be easy and fun. It's just about finding valuable tools that help us make nutrition food easy, convenient, and accessible, just as the less nutritious stuff. And you see, for me, back to ingarden and growing your own microgreens in home, accessing one of the most nutritionally dense foods out there. That's one tool we can use to help achieve that balance and start reversing what it means when discussing the standard American diet.
I think one of the major component and our difficulty here has been the impartiality of the regulations, allowing major food companies to remanufacture and redesign the food, and confusing the public from a simple label reading to the actual understanding of ingredients.
Very, very true.
Well, these are things that really don't happen in other nations where there is much more emphasis on nutrition, but most of all on the regulations that apply to major food companies.
Correct. Exactly. As someone pursuing my master's in food science, I can tell you what you're saying is very, very true.
Well, we have Americans that unfortunately still fail to understand the balance between good food and good living, in addition to the work that we do. Our society, unfortunately, doesn't give us much time to take care of our body. And when we do, it's probably too late. But I've had the opportunity to try your product.
Yes.
And I must tell you, at first, I was a little bit skeptical. Actually, I had my wife with me, and she's very good in gardening. And so I said, listen, take a look at this, help me out putting the kit together. Yes. But I want you to tell our listeners, because I know that, first of all, it's all sustainable. And the only thing that I can think of that someone might be a little bit skeptical is because they may not know how to use the microgreens.
Yes, absolutely. So, I'm glad you mentioned that about skepticism, because let me tell you, I have that too. I think when it comes to these innovative new tools that are now accessible to us, right? These smart tools. Like I imagine, some of us used to think back of the idea of having a mobile phone where we would carry it around every day seems like a strange foreign concept, but look at us all now, right? We love these smart devices. We love Google Maps that helps us get to A to B, right? But we used to use paper. And so I think when it comes to these things, it's realizing that once you have it, and I'm sure perhaps you can comment on this, like once you have something like ingarden in your home, in your kitchen, it makes your life easier, and it makes healthy eating simplified. And to your question of how can we use microgreens, well, actually what's fun, and I'm sure you can also, I suppose, relate to the history of microgreens, because they began in the fine dining culinary space, and they were a beautiful gourmet garnish, and typically termed this word called vegetable confetti because they are fun and cute and mini and definitely add a fun aesthetic to one's food. However, you and I relate with each other on one concept, and that is our mission to educate people. And for me, I am here to take microgreens from simply a beautiful garnish on a plate and help to educate people that microgreens are more than just a visually appealing garnish that you add, say, to your sandwiches or salads at lunch or your, pasta or salmon dinner, or perhaps even on your eggs or smoothie in the morning, right? They can be so much more than that because they are beautiful, but they are also, as I mentioned previously, one of the most nutritionally dense foods that one can, incorporate into their diet. And I, as a scientist, must quantify that for you. So, for example, the red cabbage microgreens that are this beautiful, purple green color, they in fact have 230% more of the daily requirement for vitamin A. They have 100% more of the daily value for folate and 88% more of the daily value for manganese. And this last number I'm about to say seems crazy, but it's actually 2,150% more of the daily value for phosphorus. And this is all compared to mature red cabbage, right? So microgreens, the word nutritionally dense means they have more of our essential vitamins and minerals packed into them, delivering your body a vitamin and mineral, bomb, right? And so, yes, they are a great, addition to any meal from your breakfast to your lunch to your dinner. However, knowing that you are adding this impactful nutritional just punch to your meals, I think that's taking it a step further in the sense of how to boost our diet with these essential vitamins and minerals and make sure that we are nourishing ourselves from the inside out.
And without any additional over-the-counter pharmacy vitamins, right?
Yes, exactly. There's more of a guarantee that you're getting these nutrients because they're coming from a whole food, right? Microgreens are simply the tiny versions of vegetables we already know and love.
Right. I can tell you my grandchildren love the idea because they watched this whole progress in the growing aspect. And they were very excited. Also because I'm not sure many of the young generation actually understand how food grows. And that's another educational event that we should talk about in another podcast. People see food in supermarkets. They have no knowledge of agricultural setting, territory, what it takes to grow something beautiful. And you were able to do this with simply water and a light and an LED light. That's fascinating.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad you brought that up because that's my upbringing, right? That's my passion of connecting with our food. And I'm sure it's not only fun for the grandkids, but I'm sure it's fun for us too, like getting to wake up and see, these microgreens grow in 7 days, which is such a short turnaround. And it's fun. It's bringing fun and science back to the kitchen, I suppose.
Right. Now, your kit that I received had, I think, a mixture of different selection.
Correct.
But if you would talk to me about the logistic aspect, what someone should expect if they either get on a weekly plan or perhaps buy from you just once. They can select their own.
Yes. So logistics-wise, when you purchase ingarden, right, you will get a starter kit, which includes the device, right, the ingarden, which is, as you mentioned, it includes the ceramic base, which is the ceramic bowl, right? And I'm sure you can comment on it's quite heavy, but hopefully that's indicative of quality, right?
Yes.
And then internally, you place the stainless steel rack, right? So that's where the microgreen seed pads are placed on top of. And then we have the LED lighting system, and it's all autonomous. All you have to do is water it once a week. And so with, the turnaround with your microgreens, you'll get the ingarden right in the starter kit and one eco pack, which has 7 seed pads. You don't have to think about pouring the seed pads out of a package or something. They are, stuck onto the seed mats, and you simply place them on the ingarden and water them. So that's what you'll get logistically in one starter kit. And in terms of, continuously growing your microgreens, we do offer a monthly subscription service for purchasing the eco packs, which again, you can get a variety of different microgreens in one, from mustard microgreens to kale microgreens to arugula microgreens, red cabbage microgreens, as I mentioned, etc. We have 8 different varieties. And so with that, as I mentioned, the logistics of growing cycle, right? 7 days to grow the microgreens. And then, we estimate a week of harvesting, right? A week of getting to add them to your diet. And then you then replace the seed pads, and then you have another 7 days of growing, right? So this is week 3 in a month, 7 days of growing. And then the 4th week is your second, round of harvesting. And then monthly subscription, your new microgreen eco pack will arrive in the mail, and you start again. 1 week of growing, 1 week of harvesting, 1 week of growing, 1 week of harvesting. So trying to get the thinking out of it for us. You don't have to think about going to the supermarket to buy these fresh microgreens. You don't have to think about them dying, right? It is all as autonomous as possible, so that we take the effort out of the process for you and make it easy and simplified.
You have 3 different selection here. I mean, the one that I'm looking at right now, because I have one of your wonderfully explained brochure.
Yes.
The superfood selection. It includes kale, cress, arugula, alfalfa, and then you have the essential selection with radish, red cabbage, broccoli, mustard. You also have the pure selection, alfalfa, arugula, cress, radish. I mean, you have enough for everyone's taste, right?
Exactly. And for me, I particularly favor the variety packs, because I believe that the more variety we have in the different foods we choose, right? Not only are we, creating a safety buffer for us when it comes to making sure that we are, not deficient in particular nutrients, but it's fun because, as I mentioned, each microgreen, like the red cabbage, is a beautiful purple color, but some of the others are this more light green or darker green. They have kind of different shapes, and I'm sure you can comment on the different tastes as well, right? Spicy edge or spicy kick with the, say, mustard or arugula, or kind of more soft sweet with the red cabbage. So again, this is just making healthy eating accessible.
Actually, I had your kit in my kitchen here in a cooking school, and doing a class about 9 days ago, I had a group of about 12, and everyone cut them with a scissor, and we used most of them. I tried to teach them how to use them, not just cold, but also as a reduction as part of a sauce, because
there we go.
The elements that are contained within these greens are so powerful that they can enrich any sauces at all. We made a chicken with lemon rind and a little bit of cream, and we added some of the greens on the inside, but we didn't cook them completely. We just cooked them lightly so that they will still have the green color vivid on a plate. And everybody was really astonished about the result. So I'm excited to let you know that. Well, it was interesting. I think chefs can only help in terms of utilization, because, as you know, microgreens, especially in many restaurants, are used to adorn a plate, which in that case, they lose the essentiality of the actual product.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you mentioned sauces, because I feel like, making a microgreen butter or pesto, or even adding it to, say, hummus would be, these fun ways we can get creative with our cooking, with healthy eating, and that's part of the magic for me.
I tried a plate of pasta here with my wife Carmela, but we did the spaghetti. We like al dente spaghetti with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil and
Yes.
Parmigiano Reggiano. And it's almost like when the pasta is ready to be served, I had some of the microgreens and I just folded them together and served. And it was an amazing taste because it elevated the plate to another level of a flavor profile. And I just wanted you to know that that was my experience. So I've had quite a few of them. I want to thank you for that.
Goodness, that makes me so happy to hear.
No, it really worked well. I want you to know that. And I will tell you the opposite as well.
Yes,
anything else you would like to add?
That's what I appreciate about you. Well, I would say, when it comes to what you and I discuss and helping people understand and be more educated with their food, I think a call to action for all the listeners would simply be to Google microgreens or check out our website, ingarden.com, because a picture is worth 1,000 words. We can talk on and on about the device or microgreens and these different foods and dishes, but I think where the real action happens is when you see it for yourself. And so I would, check out the website, ingarden.com, check out our social media, which is ingarden_com for all, Instagram, TikTok, etc. Just take a look. I think that first step of curiosity is a step in the right direction, because the more you take these snippets of, golden nuggets of information you learn and then take action on that, that's going to make the difference to your health and wellness. And so I hope, everyone out there can start sharing the same level of excitement you and I have for these microgreens, Walter.
I can guarantee you that you have an ally here in New England. And for those of you who are listening, if you are in the area here, of course, you can contact me and I'll have all the information on the show notes. If you need any additional information on the microgreens from InGarden. In the meantime, if you're in the kitchen cooking, either today or tonight, always keep your eyes on the fire. Lastly, Natalie, before I let you go, is there a 1-800 number?
Yes. So before, I almost forgot to mention, do not forget that your listeners, because they are so awesome, do get a 20% discount code if they choose to purchase InGarden, which is going to be Flavors20. So FLAVORS 20 on the website, and that is specific to you. And so obviously that I provide that for you in your show notes and stuff as well. But I think we all like a little discount here and there, so I'm sure someone might appreciate that.
Well, let's wrap it up. It's been such a pleasure to have you on, and for you listeners, if you have a passion for good food, if you're into nutrition as we are, and if you would like the growing understanding of nutrition food in your own house, consider Impact. And I will wrap up the show saying thank you again, Natalie. You've been really appreciated. I could be talking to you forever. Time
I know, Walter. I'm so sorry. We went over so long. I know you like to keep them short.
That's okay. Time is always the enemy in anything we do in life. So InGarden with Natalie Paterson wraps up this episode of Flavors and Knowledge. Follow Flavors and Knowledge podcast on anchor.fm or any of your preferred platforms. And if you are on YouTube, please follow our channels, which is under the Chef Walter's Cooking School page. I don't have much more to say other than thank you, Natalie. Ciao.
Thank you.
Flavors and Knowledge is brought to you by Chef Walter's Cooking School in Cranston, Rhode Island. For classes, workshops, events, and programs, please visit our website at chefwalterscookingschool.com. For all other services offered by Chef Walter's Food Group, check out our main website, chefwalter.com.